Shalom. Before I get started, I want to say Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well and push out this word at a high frequency. Peace, salutations, and much love to you brothers, you elect brothers laboring around the four corners of the earth, giving our diligence to make your calling of election sure. Alright, in this lesson I'm going to entitle this, The Lord is going to withdraw his men from the public eye. And as you can see, Apostle Gabar did a video earlier dealing with net neutrality and how they're basically going to take away certain access to the internet. You're not going to be able to access certain websites, certain YouTube videos, primarily our videos. They're going to censor a lot of our videos. They're going to delete a lot of our pages. As you can see, 34th and 7th, the Spirit moved on Apostle Tahar to close down that zone. All right, so the Lord is slowly but surely, gradually moving his prophets out of the public eye, man. Why is he doing so? Because he's going to bring judgment into the earth. There's not going to be a need to have prophets out prophesying about judgment when judgment is actually happening. It's going to be said and done. All right, so I'm gonna get an account in 1 Kings about the Lord. He did the same thing with Elisha. He withdrew, he hid Elisha in the time that he brought judgment. He's going to do the same thing with the elect, Lord willing, if we're part of that number. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. And hopefully, brothers, this lesson is edifying, okay? All right, this is 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1. It says, And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, and unto Ahab, said unto Ahab, As the Lord power of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. So Elisha told King Ahab that, basically a famine is going to come. There's not going to be no rain. All right, no rain is going to come, and let that be according to my word. So it's verse 2. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. All right. So when the Lord was about to bring that famine in the land, what did the Lord do to Elijah? He hid him. He took him out of the public eye. All right. Why? Because judgment had to proceed, man. Judgment had to go forth. And because Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai was dealing with Elijah, he hid him to protect him. Well, he's going to do the same thing to his members of the elect, all right, and their families. All right, he's going to hide them and preserve them from that wrath. All right, why? Because they're being good servants. So it's going to be the same thing again, man. All right, we're not going to be out in the public eye going back and forth with you people, man, that just can't get it, man. The Lord is going to bring judgment, and he's going to withdraw his prophets, and all of these people out here, they're going to be inquiring, where is he at? Where'd they go? I need some answers. You ain't going to be able to go to YouTube to get the answers. You ain't going to be able to go to the streets to get the answers. Nothing, man. All right? And the elect still going to keep the faith in that day. All right? So let's continue reading on. Verse 4. It says, And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee. So during the time of judgment, the Lord provided a brook for Elijah to drink of, and he commanded ravens to feed him, showing you that the Lord, he's in control of everything. He's in control of the animals. He's in control of the people. He's in control of everything, man. And by Elijah doing what the Lord told him to do, the Lord protected him, and he hid him from the judgment, man. Well, he's going to do the same exact thing, man, for his elect. He's going to withdraw his elect from the public platform of speaking. And they're going to be in certain areas throughout America being protected by the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, man. All right. Of course, the elect is going to face certain encounters to try their faith. All right, to strengthen their faith in their belief. All right. But it's not to destroy them. It's to strengthen them. Okay. To make them more courageous. All right. Verse 5. So he went and did according to the word of the Lord. And for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and the bread and the flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. See, so Elijah ate twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, and he had a brook to himself to drink, man. You know, so that goes to show you that the Lord he's gonna take his men away from you people, man, and he's gonna put them in secluded areas where a lot of you people not gonna have access to a man of the Lord, which that's gonna be a very, very important thing in that day. See, the value of a man of the Lord today is looked at as a piece of dung. You know, it's looked at as, oh, there's just a nigga. There's just some niggas out there with raggedy garments on. No, you will see the value of a man in the Lord when judgment takes place. That's when the value is going to increase. That's when that precious stone of that or that man of the Lord is going to be looked at as a value, as money. More than money, man. Alright. Now from there, I'm gonna get an account where Yahushua did the same exact thing. Alright. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 14. It says, Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him. So the Pharisees was trying to come up against Yahushua, man, in Matthew. Okay. It's because he did a miracle. You know, so the Pharisees was trying to destroy him. All right. And Yahushua caught wind. This is verse 15. It says, But when Yahushua knew it, he withdrew himself from thence. All right. So Yahushua even used wisdom when he understood that he was he was in harm's way, or that people was trying to come down on him. He withdrew himself. He wasn't still going out into the public eye. Still, he was moving around. He withdrew himself. This what the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to do, the exact same thing to his servants, man, to keep them protected, man. All right. It says, I'm gonna get that word withdrew in the Hebrew, or Salaki in the Greek. Let me get that word withdrew.
Strong's G 402. Anachoreo.
Right. And the definition is to go back, return, to withdraw, so as to leave a room of those who through fear seek some other place. All right. So that's what Yahushua did. He fled the scene, because he knew that, the Pharisees was trying to set him up to destroy him. Right. But let's see what Yahushua did once he withdrew himself. It says in verse 15 again, I'll read from the top. It says, But when Yahushua knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. So it had became a thing where Yahushua was no longer speaking, or he withdrew himself, and then he started performing miracles, still doing the work of the Lord, just in a different form, all right, of magnifying Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He started healing the sick. Okay. It says verse 16, and charged them that they should not make him known. So Yahushua was like, yo, keep it low key, man. Don't let everybody know where I'm at. Don't let it be known. Just let that be a blessing unto you. That healing, let that be that healing be a blessing unto you, man. Because the Lord was keeping a low profile. Because that's what you call wisdom. Verse 17. That it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, Behold, my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles. Verse 19, He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets, man. Alright, so the scriptures say, neither shall any man hear Yahushua voice in the street. Why? Because he withdrew himself, and that was him fulfilling the prophecy I have here. I got that scripture in Isaiah 42, okay, where the Lord's voice was no longer in the streets. He was actually out performing miracles in the physical, through the spirit. The spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua was being manifested in the physical, man. And a lot of people, you haven't seen that aspect of the truth yet. None of us have seen that aspect to that extent, you know, where instant miracles is happening right before your eyes, man. That's a whole nother level of this truth, which we are approaching. And you can see the Lord setting the stage, you know. So from there, I'm going to go to Isaiah 42, just to get that scripture. Isaiah 42:1. Behold, my servant whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. And you see, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua clearly has his spirit on, primarily on great millstone men right now, man. You see the brothers, they trim, their lamps is trimmed, brothers is active, brothers doing videos, live streams, okay? On the highways and byways, there's a lot of edification coming out, a lot of good definitions and words and spiritual insight, all right? Because the Lord's Spirit is abounding, you know, heavily on His men, all right? And you're starting to see more and more who may be a part of that number, according to the works and the faith that they have, man. So hey, we gonna bring forth judgment to the Gentiles, okay? Verse 2: He shall not cry nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. And that's going to be the same thing again, because we represent Yahushua. The elect represents Yahushua. Okay? Right now. His spirit is just on us, and his spirit is moving us to do what he would do. So we represent Yahushua right now, and he's going to cause his voice to be removed from the street again. Not to be heard in the street again, man. Alright? These are the things that's about to happen. Okay? From there, I'm going to go to John chapter 9, verse 4. Alright? It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. So it's going to come a point in time where it's not going to be the safest thing to go into the main parts of the city teaching his word, man. You know? Because it's going to be utter chaos. Everybody's going to, you know, have it out for the men of the Lord, man. You know, people going to paint us like terrorists and you know, and things of that nature, which we're not, man. We just messengers, man. All we doing is we just here to deliver the message of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay? It says, the night cometh, which night represents what? Darkness, which the day of the Lord, time of judgment, is made in comparison to a dark day. You know, so that night is going to come when no man can work. So we're going to have to withdraw ourselves like the Lord put the spirit on Elisha to do, like Yahushua did. Okay? They got away from the hot zones, man. That's wisdom. It's coming again. You know? And what's going to happen is, you know, even though we're not going to be able to speak on a public platform, there's still going to be certain men out here doing spiritual miracles, man. Still standing for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in that day. You know? Because the Lord said, when I come back, who shall I find so doing? So brothers still going to be keeping that oath. Brothers still going to be keeping that the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob all the way up until the end, man. It don't just stop in the time of Jacob's trouble. It don't mean that you don't praise Yahweh Bashim Yahushua anymore. It's just a shift in the battlefield, in the atmosphere, man. So you got to move according to the spirit, you know. From there, I'm gonna go to Hebrews chapter 6, verse 11. It says, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. All right, see, so we gotta keep that hope all the way up until the end. We gotta still gonna have to give diligence in that day, and in time of Jacob's trouble, man. Diligently praying, fasting. Okay, if you do have spiritual powers and the Lord put the spirit on you to heal certain people, hey, the spirit is gonna have you doing that in the time of Jacob's trouble, because we gotta be found in the spirit when Yahushua comes back, man. Faithful, still hanging in there. Alright, verse 12, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promise. So we gotta incorporate that more and more as the days draw near. Alright, when the spirit of the Lord speak, alright, you gotta hear it like Elijah did. He heard the word of the Lord. and because he heard the word of the Lord, he was obedient, and he moved according to it. And Apostle Tahar just did that. All right, Spirit moved on him to shut down the zone, and he did it. And the apostles and elders that's up under Apostle Tahar, they knew that was the Spirit. So because you know why? Because they're inspired, man. They are inspired by the word, man. All right, it's actually living and walking with us, man. So it's going to be a point in time very soon where you're not going to be able to even, a lot of you, especially you scoffers and scorners and mockers, you're not even going to be able to see the men of the Lord no more, man. That's going to be it. And hopefully you had fun. Bull crapping. All right. You know, I'm going to get one more scripture and I'm going to wrap it up. This is Luke chapter 9 verse 5. It says, and whosoever will not receive you when ye go out of the city, shake off the very dust from your feet for a testimony against them, man. All right. So when you shake the dust on the city or a certain area, man, that's a testimony against that city or that area, man. And that's what Yahushua is going to do. Same thing Elijah did. He went to Ahab, he prophesied, and then he shook the dust, and he got the hell on, man. Well, we're about to do the same thing in the spirit, man. Shake the dust on Babylon as a whole, man. That's when it's gonna be the game's gonna begin, man. That's when the bull jiving, the scoffing, and making this thing entertainment, that's when all that stuff is gonna stop, and it's gonna be the survival of the fittest. And when I say the fittest, I mean spiritually fit, man. You gotta be spiritually up to par to endure what's coming, man. And only the elect members are gonna be spiritually up to par, So that great famine of the word and seeing the prophets is nigh and is right around the corner, man. And a lot of brothers, we've been going into this, man, lately, because you could feel it in the spirit. The Lord is about to switch up the game plan. All right. So with that, I'm gonna close out. Hopefully you brothers was edified through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. Lord willing, we continue to push, continue to labor, do the right things, for Yahweh Shema Shai, so that He can have mercy upon us and our households and protect us from the enemy, Satan, the devil, who wants to destroy us. All right, so if we stay locked into this thing, we'll have a get out of jail free card, man. The Lord, He'll save us, man. He'll protect us at all costs. But we got to be found diligent, from the time you wake up to the time you go in, man. This thing got to be running through your mind, So with that, we close out, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors once again to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and many blessings to the elect, men, women, and children. Shalom. Keep pushing, brother. Shalom.